Tluk, Anchiquest Angie Bain, and Tlukatmachin Kim Tutsutkun Ninjaba. My name is Angie Bain. I'm from the Intlakatma Nation, which is in the south central interior of British Columbia, and I'm a researcher. I've been doing this work for over 20 years, working for my community and other communities in Canada, and it's my pleasure to be here today. I can't say much in my language, but I know how to tell you who I am and where I'm from. In my community, this is how we start all of our work together. These questions aren't new. When the first visitors from around the world arrived in our territories and met our ancestors, they probably asked the very same questions. Who are you? Where do you live? We were the unknown. We spoke different languages, dressed differently, ate different foods, lived in different houses, and understood and experienced the world in different ways. Our histories weren't written, but were passed from generation to generation back to the time of the old one, when he put us on the land and showed us how to live and how to take care of everything he gave us. Our cultures, rich and complex, differed greatly from those of our visitors. And so they came, the adventurers, the explorers, the fur traders, the missionaries, the geographers, the artists, the linguists, the anthropologists and archaeologists, the settlers. Some traveled swiftly through our territories, guided by our community members, relying on them to show them the way along our trails to the places that we had named. Others stayed longer, traveled deeper into our territories, taking up land, extracting resources, and establishing settlements. Some acquired things like clothing, blankets, tools, and objects from my community for their personal use. The first to settle near my community wrote letters home, dubiously detailing their progress in learning our language, which I can tell you firsthand is not easy. Writing of their meeting and interacting with my ancestors. They shared details of their new lives in our territories, sending correspondence to officials who wrote to their superiors, who resided in places like England and France. They sent drawings and sketches, then photos and maps. The very first understanding of my community by these visitors were sent out into the world, back to their homes. Today, many of these records are held by individual families, local museums, regional institutions, national and international archives. My community found some of the earliest materials written about us in archives in Ireland, Italy, the Shetland Islands, and England, very far from home. In the midst of letters describing the challenges of farming in the Nicola Valley were mentions of our village sites like Zut, Touch, and Chalouse, our fisheries, and our customs. These visitors wrote articles for publication in their home countries describing things like hunting and fishing, using the techniques and tools that they learned from our communities. After the settlers came the collectors. They sought to understand our communities through our material culture. They bought, had made, or otherwise acquired everything that they thought was representative, unique, or valuable. They recorded, mostly in their words, but sometimes in ours, the significance of our designs, the importance of the colors we selected, the variety of materials that we used from our environments, and the methods unique to my people of manufacturing. Many sanitized that which they found incomprehensible or offensive, interpreting our culture through their own lens and stripping it of that which made it Intlakatma. When the collectors came through my territory, our lifestyle was changing, the world was changing, and our societies were changing. Museums placed great value on things that were used, and so people sold their personal possessions, their regalia, things that would have been passed on to their children and grandchildren, things that were sacred, things that required restrictions on use and access, these things left our communities. When they left our community, they were treated as objects rather than as living things. The reverence we had for the item